begin with that breaking news this morning that a police officer has been killed at Croydon Police Station in South London. The officer was shot dead by a 23-year-old man who was being detained at the custody centre in Windmill Lane. Well, the Met Police has issued a statement saying a murder investigation has been launched following the death of a police officer in South London. At approximately 2:15 a.m. this morning, the officer was shot by a man who was being detained at Croydon Custody Centre in Windmill Lane. Officers and paramedics treated him at the scene and he was taken to hospital by London Ambulance Service. Very tragically, he subsequently died at hospital. We are in the process of informing all of the officers' family and are supporting them with specialist officers. And the Met's statement goes on to say a 23-year-old man was detained by officers at the scene. He was also taken to hospital with a gunshot wound and remains in a critical condition. No police firearms were discharged during the incident. Well, for the very latest, we're now joined by our Home Affairs correspondent, Mark White. So, Mark, what can you tell us?
Well, Ian, obviously this incident unfolded very quickly. That last line in the statement saying that no police firearms were involved, an indication of how quickly the incident unfolded. We understand that it was a prisoner who was being brought to this custody suite, a 23-year-old man who is now in hospital in a critical condition, who opened fire on this police officer. Now, in terms of the officer himself, he died at the scene despite the efforts of these medical teams to save his life. The suspect, the 23-year-old man, is now under police guard in hospital at the moment. And there are obviously questions to be answered about whether this individual, when he was brought to this custody suite, had been properly checked before he was put in the back of that police van to be transported to the custody suite. That will form part of the investigation going forward. For the moment, people are just absorbing the shocking nature of what happened. We've had a statement through from the Home Secretary, Priti Patel. In that statement, she says, "I am deeply shocked and saddened to learn that a Metropolitan Police officer has been shot and killed in the line of duty." She goes on to say, "My thoughts today are with his family, friends and policing colleagues in London and across the country. This morning I spoke to Metropolitan Police Commissioner Cressida Dick to express my condolences and to offer whatever support is needed at this as this tragic event is investigated." She goes on to say, "This is a sad day for our country and another terrible reminder of how our police officers put themselves in danger each and every day to keep the rest of us safe." Now, we've also had a statement through from the Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer. In that statement, he said, "Horrific to hear of a police officer being shot and killed in Croydon. Our police put themselves in harm's way every day to keep us safe. All my thoughts are with the officer's family, friends and colleagues." We also have an MP's reaction, Sarah Jones, local MP, saying that she is absolutely shocked as well at the news and said that she's speaking to the police on the details of this awful incident. "And my thoughts," she says, "are with the family and colleagues of the officer that was killed." So the reaction coming in there right across the political spectrum to what is thankfully a very rare instance in terms of the number of officers who are killed in the line of duty. Everyone will remember just over a year ago, PC Andrew Harper, a Thames Valley police officer, killed, dragged to his death by 3 teenagers who were subsequently convicted of the killing of that officer. Well, as I say, thankfully these events are rare. And because of the rarity of these events, they are all the more shocking. But we should say that assaults against the police are not rare, and they have been rising at an alarming rate in recent months and years. The latest figures out again showing thousands of officers across the country are assaulted, going about their daily task of keeping the public safe, out there on duty, subjected to assault, some of them really quite serious in nature.
All right, Mark, thanks for that for now. Well, as reaction continues to come into this news, the Prime Minister Boris Johnson has posted a tweet in which he says, "My deepest condolences go to the family, friends and colleagues of the police officer who was killed in Croydon last night. We owe a huge debt to those who risk our own lives to keep us safe." We've also had a statement during the last few moments from the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, in which he says, "Devastated by this news, my heart goes out to the family of this brave officer who has paid the ultimate price for helping to keep Londoners safe. Tragic incidents like this are terrible reminders of the dangers our police officers face every single day." And the Mayor added, "My thoughts are also with the entire Metropolitan Police family, who I know will be deeply mourning their colleague at this extremely difficult time. I remain in close contact with the Commissioner to offer her and our Met officers and staff my support." Well, we can also tell you what the Policing Minister, Kit Malthouse, has been telling the House of Commons during the last hour. Let's listen to what
The details are still emerging, but the Home Secretary has spoken to the Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police and offered the help and support of the Home Office as the force comforts family, friend and colleagues and investigates this crime. We ask our police officers to do an extraordinary job. The fact that one of them has fallen in the line of performing that duty is a tragedy for the entire nation. I know the entire House will offer their condolences to his family and friends and colleagues. May he rest in peace and may justice follow this.
So that was the Policing Minister, Kit Malthouse, speaking just a few moments ago in the House of Commons. Here are some live pictures, the latest live pictures that we can show you of the scene in Croydon.